important parts for inheritance and polymorphism. And you also can access my lecture notes. So all the resources are available on the website. As I mentioned earlier, on the first week, you can go to the website, go to the resources. This is the lecture notes link. For chapter 1 and chapter 1-2 is basically, this is week 1, this is week 2. Then the lab exercise and also the video lecture. So you can always view the video lecture through this website. All right. So today we're going to cover the course syllabus for chapter 1. I cover few last 2 weeks. So today we'll cover this one. All right. Let's look at the outline. Okay. Can we start?
Boleh, Doktor.
All right. We go to the inheritance first. Okay, normally when we write code, we will try to actually looking at what people have done, right? Basically, you will, now you have ChatGPT. You can ask ChatGPT, yes. Okay, write me a code for a bicycle, for example, right? But then you don't know whether the ChatGPT can actually fulfill what you want. So you need to know what are the things that you want for that particular class. So you need to specify the data members, you need to specify the modifier, you need to specify whether the constructor needed for default constructor or for normal constructor. So once you have your code, right, and then you want to write another class, for that particular bicycle class. So instead of copy the class bicycle and then make it another one. For example, you want to do for mountain bike or you want to do for road bike. And so instead of copy all the bicycle class and change the name and also change the modifier name, change the data members name, even the constructors. So we do have inheritance. And so this is a concept whereby you can actually reuse whatever that the bicycle class have rather than creating many classes that's similar to the bicycle. So previously, we do not have this inheritance. So inheritance is actually the evolution is, I think, during the millennium. We were not born yet during that time. So before that, before inheritance, before object-oriented coming in, so the programmer will actually copy and it will actually modify the class accordingly. So there is no concept of object-oriented previously. We are using structured approach. Okay, so now you have the object-oriented. You can actually copy source code, right? But basically, sometimes it does what you want, but sometimes it does not what you want. So that's why here the question is actually asking you whether can you copy the source code for the old class and modify it so that it does exactly what you want? So the answer could be what? Yes or no, or yes or always yes. Anyone? Yes or no? Yes, you can do it. But now you have inheritance. So we use the inheritance. So basically, when you write a code, when you write a code for a program, you want to write less code. A good program has less code. So in order for you to minimize the number of lines of your code, you need to use the concept of object-oriented, whereby we do have this inheritance. Yeah? So what I just asked you just now is actually you are hacking the code. Yeah, you hack the code because you just copy all the function and the lines of code of the program will be longer. Yeah? It become increase. Yeah? The lines of code will increase and increase, and the total number of lines of code will be many lah. Huh? So that's what we call as hacking the code lah. So that is before object-oriented coming in. So there are problems. It is hard to stay organized because you have multiple similar code, and then you also need to study the original code, what you have done before, and then you want to change it. But actually the function will be different. So when inheritance coming in, what it does is basically enable the programmers to define new classes based upon an existing class. So meaning that, as I said earlier, you have a bicycle class, and then you want to create mountain bike and also road bike. So instead of creating the similar class with similar constructor and also data members, use the concept of inheritance, whereby you can inherit whatever the parent have. Like what you do it now, right? You can inherit whatever your parents have. Like if your parents have car or motorbike, you can inherit, right? So that's why the inheritance is an object-oriented approach that we can inherit from the parent. Okay. So the new class is actually similar, but have additional member variables and methods, meaning that whatever that the parent have, you just inherit, but you can have additional things, additional functions that you can do. So this is the concept of single inheritance. So you have a concept of parent and child. So the new class is actually the child. Yeah? So the class based on the parent class is called a child, or maybe sometimes we call it a subclass or derived class. Okay, enough about inheritance. To ask questions. Can a parent class have more than one child class?
Yes.
Okay. How about can a parent class inherit characteristics from its child class?
No.
No, correct. So you cannot inherit from child, but child can inherit from parent. So the relationship is similar to the normal scenario. Huh? Okay, can you extend more than one parent? Or let me ask a different way. Can you have more than one parent?
No.
Okay. But there is a way. Okay, well, in object-oriented, you can have that, but not using inheritance. We're using interface. Okay, later we'll touch about that. Okay, you can have multiple inheritance. That's what we call as multiple inheritance using interface. All right. Okay. How many types of automobile here in the diagram? Can you look at the diagram?
Just one.
What is it?
Ford.
Okay. How many automobile objects are there in the diagram?
Three.
What is it?
Yours car, Mary's Ford, Bob's Ford.
All right. So there are three objects over there. You can create objects of automobile. You can create objects of Ford, because Ford is a child of automobile. Okay, so they belong to the same parent. All right. So now let's look at another example of inheritance. Okay. So suppose we want to model dogs and cats. So there are different type of pets. We can define the pet class and then the dog and cat classes as the subclasses of the pet class. So you can model it in this way. Yeah. So dog and cat are the child class. So let's look at the code. So this is we define class pet. Private string name, public string cat name, return name. So that is what method that we have learned last week and last 2 weeks. Cat name is what? Belongs to. Ingat dah. Kan banyak lemang ketupat ni. Come what is cat name belongs to? What kind of method? We have learned what? You can type in the chat if you cannot speak.
Getter method.
Getter method. Alright. What about set? Set name belongs to
Setter.
getter method. Alright. How about speak? It belongs to what?
String method.
Sorry? What?
Two string.
To string method. No. Speak is belong to processor method. Yeah? So there are a few types of methods in class. Yeah? You can have accessor, mutator, which is getter and setter. And then we have also constructor, and also we have processor. Processor means that any method that have that belong to other methods lah, other method than getter, setter, and constructor. So we call it as a processor. So speak, toString, what else? Other things lah, print, display. All right. So that is pet class. Okay, let's look further. So you have subclass of the pet class. Let's say you have class cat. So this is how we write the command. Okay, the code for inheritance. Yeah, class cat extends pet public string speak. So it does have one speak method. Okay, so it will not use pet speak. Well, it will use its own speak method. Okay, because cat have the speak method. So the cat subclass will override the inherited method speak. Yeah, because pet have the speak method, so you can reuse whatever that the parents have. But in this case, cat override the inherited method. Next, dog extends pet, and then it have fetch method. So the dog subclass adds a new method, fetch. So it can inherit the speak method from the pet. Okay, let's look how to use the inheritance. So basically you need to create objects. Okay, so let's say I create my dog, new dog, and then we print out the object and by calling the method, yeah, my dog dot speak, my dog dot fetch. Okay, so it will go to the speak method from the pet class, and then it will call the fetch method under the dog class. Next, you call create cat object. Okay, cat have speak method, but cat does not have fetch method. Okay, so by right, you cannot call the fetch method. So this will return error. Speak method for my cat, it will call in the cat class. And it will not call the speak method from cat because cat have speak method on its own. Right. Any question regarding inheritance before we proceed to the abstract? Any class?
Okay.
Alright. So let's look at the next subtopic, which is abstract class. Okay. For abstract class, if you had a box full of pen drive you had bought over the years, let's say you have Kingston, Sandisk, a Pacer, and so on. Okay. So what would be a good label to write on the box? Anyone? Anyone have idea? Have some thoughts?
Pen drive.
Yes, pen drive. So it will represent an abstract, meaning that a general label for all the type of pen drives. Kingston, Sandisk, and a Pacer. Okay, so the concept of abstract class in object-oriented is the same. Yeah, so this is the similar approach. Yeah? So when you have the pen drive as the abstract class, you create abstract pen drive class. Okay, and then each of the type of pen drive, let's say Sandisk and Kingston, they will have a method to store data. The store data method will have um, different approach because they are different manufactured. Okay, so the implementation will be different. eh? So in abstract class, when you create an abstract class, you will have an abstract method as well. Okay, so we will have store data for each of the pen drive type. Okay, so the store data method will be an abstract method, but the implementation will be different because they are from a different manufacturer. So this is the concept of abstract class in object oriented. So you have a concept of abstract class with the abstract method. So the implementation will be different. So let's look at the example here. So each of the pen drive class will have its own version of the store data method. Why? Because they are different manufacturer. Yeah, but then when you declare abstract class pen drive, you need also to declare an abstract method. So here how you define the abstract class pen drive, and then this is the pen drive type, and this is the abstract method. Okay, I write this one as the store data method. So each pen drive will have this store data method, but then in each of the subclass will have a different implementation. So this is for abstract class. So this is object-oriented approach, abstract class approach. So let's look one of it. Let's say I choose Sandisk. For Sandisk, so you need to extend pen drive, and then you will have a constructor here, public Sandisk, with the parameter, so meaning that this is normal constructor. Okay, so by assigning the data member, the type equal to ty, so this is the parameter for normal constructor. Okay, this is the store data method, the one that abstract method from pen drive. Okay, so here a simple implementation print out for Sandisk. So this is only for Sandisk. Okay, so this is for Sandisk. But if you create another one for Kingston, let's say you have class Kingston extends pen drive, so it will have public Kingston, and then it will have public void store data with different implementation. So right here, I just print out a simple command. So it will have store data in Kingston. Okay, so The concept of abstract is basically it provides a general, a general idea of type of pen drive, for example, and then you can share the abstract method. The only difference is the implementation. So that is concept of abstract class in object oriented. Right. Any question? Abstract.
No, Doctor, all clear.
All right. So let's move on to polymorphism. So we have looked into inheritance, right? Now polymorphism. The polymorphism also use the concept of inheritance. Yeah? It's just that it allows a single variable to refer to objects from different subclasses in the same inheritance hierarchy. Okay, so meaning that you still apply the inheritance, but you can create one object, or one single variable refer to the dog and cat. For example, yeah, you have cat and dog as subclasses of pet. Then you create object of pet, which is my pet. Okay, and then you create my dog equal to new dog. Okay, that is dog object. Then you create my pet equal to new cat. So you can actually assign that variable to new dog as well. Yeah? Not only cat. So that is the concept of polymorphism. It means having many forms. Yeah? So you create variable from parent class, and then you can assign them to a different subclasses object. Another example, let's say you have bicycle, which is the parent, and then you have mountain bike and road bike. Okay, so now you are creating bike 01, bike 02, and bike 03. Bike 01 is bicycle object, bike 02 is mountain bike object, and bike 03 is road bike. So each of the object will have print description, which is the method that from the bicycle class. Okay, so this is two subclasses that override the print description method and print unique information. So this is also one example of polymorphism. All right, more about it. So let's say we look at this. This is also polymorphism. And there are no abstract class in this hierarchy, so each class can be instantiated. Instantiated means that you can create object for each class. So let's say you have rodent, rat, and mouse. Okay, each of it you can create object. So this is creating the variable first. Yeah, rodent rod. So rod is a variable from rodent, rat, and then with small r, mouse, moon. Okay, let's look at this. Rod, new rat. Rod is from rodent. And then you want to assign to rat. Okay or not?
Okay.
Okay, everyone agree?
Okay.
How about the next one? Moo is a variable of mouse. New rat. Okay or not? Okay or not? Okay. Come on.
I think no.
Okay, not them. How about the rest? Agree?
Agree.
Why cannot? Why no? Sebab apa? Mu ni lah mouse mu variable. So rat is inside macam sibling lah kan. So you cannot access, cannot create objects of sibling from sibling. Yeah, so you cannot. There is no concept of inheritance. Okay. All right. How about rat equal to new rodent? Rat, small r is object of rat. Can you assign to rodent? Not.
No.
Mhm. Still cannot, right? Because rodent is the parents, right? How about the next one? Rat equal to new field mouse. Where is field mouse? Field mouse is here. Rat is here. Can you assign it to new field mouse?
No, because not the child parent.
Okay, right. All right. How about the next one? Rat equal to new field mouse.
Okay.
Okay, agree?
Yes.
All right. How about the next one? No, equal to new rodent.
Not.
Not. Next, rat equal to new lab rat.
Okay.
Right. The last one, rat equal to new mouse.
Not okay.
Okay, everyone. That's the slide. Okay. Any questions? Question. Let's look at tutorial. Have you tried to look at the tutorial? Yeah. Can you guys
No.
see the tutorial?
Yes.
All right. So let's discuss this. Okay, for this tutorial, let's look at question number 1. There are 3 classes. We have laptop, Dell laptop, and HP laptop. Okay, what are the likely relationship between these classes? Anyone?
Parent-child relationship, inheritance,
Parent inheritance, parent-child relationship. Okay, so laptop will be,
parent,
Dell laptop will be
child,
child, and also HP laptop,
child.
child. All right. So this is the concept of inheritance. Yeah, so parent and child. Okay, next. Okay, come on, you guys. Gently compile. What's the output of the following program? We have public class animal as the parent, and then you have cat here, extends animal. You have main method. Let's look at the main method. We create cat object. And then you create animal variable. You assign to cat object.
Doctor, can I try?
Yes, what's the answer?
The class method in animal and then the instant method in cat.
Okay, what about the rest? Get the same or different?
So,
Same. Girls? Tak dengar sorry girls hari ni. Are there girls in my class? At my time. Girls tak sempat jadi compiler. Okay, you can see that this is my cat, right? So animal, my animal. So this is actually polymorphism. Yes, you creating a variable from the parent, my animal, and then you assign the variable to the cat, which is the child class, my cat. Okay. Next, you are calling you are using the animal, which is the parent, calling the test class method. So directly this one will use the parent class. So that is right. Here you the class method in animal. Next, my animal is actually have been assigned to the subclass, which is my cat. And then we will call the test instance method. So although my animal is a variable from animal, when you assign to the subclass my cat, so it will find whether there is a method available in the subclass. If yes, then we will print out the instance method in cat. If there is no method available, we will go to the parent. Okay, clear class?
wait.
Right.
Boleh.
So okay. All right, let's look at number 3. Can an object of a child type be assigned to a variable of the parent type? Okay, for example, we have greeting card. So this is parent. A greeting card is the parent class. Birthday card is the child class. Okay, now you are creating a variable card. Then you are creating object, which is BD, which is for the child class. And then you are assigning the variable to the object. So, is this correct?
Yes.
Correct.
So everyone can get the polymorphism. This is polymorphism. So this is a variable card. Yeah. This is object from the subclasses. We can use card assigned to the object of subclass. This is concept of polymorphism. Having a single variable that can be point out to the subclasses object. Right. So let's look at number 4. Okay, again, we come the everyone jadi compiler. Now kita tengok kita ada class animal, and then we have class cat extends animal. Then we have class set cat. So there are 3 classes here. Next, we have main method. So Java always run on the main method. So let's look at the main method. Cat C equal to new cat. We're creating cat object C. Then C, you call the print color. What's the output?
Black. Lepas tu bawah dia white.
Right. Bawah tu dia white because ada super. Remember super? Super is a keyword whereby we use it to refer to our superclass, whether is it a variable, whether is it a method, or even the constructor. Yeah. So we call the super, super is a keyword to refer to the characters. Okay. Any questions so far? Boleh? All right, let's move on to number
Okay.
5. Okay, fine. All right, let's move on to number 5. Okay, number 5, you have animal as the superclass, dog as the subclass. Okay, now you have a main class there, main method lah, basically. All right, so okay, in both subclasses, in both classes, in superclass and subclass, you have display method. Right, so in main method, we create an object dog1. And then the dog1 will call the print message, whereby this is a dog object. So print message are available in the subclass. In the subclass, it will have also display, right? Calling the display in print message. So which display will be called? Which one? Which one will be called? Subclass ke yang superclass? This is overridden method. Tapi I have that slide, right, to show what is overridden method. The overridden method is basically a method that have the same signature or same name. Zero is same name lah. Yeah, display in superclass and display in subclass. Right. So this is what we call as overridden method. So my question is, you create an object of dog, and then you call print message. Print message only available in the dog class. And in the dog class, in the print message, there is a calling method of display. So this display will call which one? Animal or dog?
Dog.
Dog, because dog have the display method. So that is the concept of overridden method. Yeah. So the overridden method here, the answer is basically the display. Yeah, display. All right. For number 6. Interface. Tadi saya tak tunjuk ya interface. Interface. Right, let's look at here. Okay. In my notes ada about this interface. Before we proceed to the tutorial question, we should look into the interface first. So interface is basically to support multiple inheritance. Yeah? Java has single inheritance, but then if you want to have more than one parent, you can, but the way you do it is basically you need to use the syntax implements. So implements, okay, because you can extend one parent, but you need to have implements after extends the parent, implement interface. Okay, so you can have multiple inheritance. So interface is used to express an aspect of a class other than what inherits from its parents. So basically, you need to have an interface class whereby it has constants and method, yeah? But there is no more method body, yeah? It is only declaration. Right. How to use it? So this is the this is the syntax. Yeah? Class A extends B implements C. Yeah? So this is how you declare definition. Right. So a method in an interface cannot be made private. A method in interface is public by default. So this is an example. Interface C, for example, my interface, my interface. So this is how you declare the variable constant method. Only declaration. No implementation. That is in space. So this is also the syntax, yeah, how you implement if you want to implement more than one interface. So you can have implement interface A, comma, interface B, comma, interface C. Or you can have only one interface, implement only one interface. Okay, let's look one example problem. Okay, let's say you have a goods class, which is a superclass, and then you have food, toy, and book. Okay, previously, food, you don't give tags. But now these are the tags, yeah, food. Okay, let's consider food as not taxable. Only toy and book is taxable. Okay, so this is where the interface comes in. Yeah, you extends the same parent, but then only other siblings have need to have a different parent. Okay, so that's why this taxable considered as an interface. Yeah, so we have to have the taxable as a separate concept. Right. So the program solution will be you create class goods. Yeah. And then you have one display method, and then now you declare the interface. So this is the interface taxable. Then you have double calculate text. That's the declaration. But the implementation will be done inside the class that extends goods implements taxable. And so you have the word implements taxable. Then you can have the method calculate text, which is from the taxable, the interface. So that is the concept of interface. So the next slide is about inheritance versus interface. Okay, I can. Okay, this is actually because inheritance for single inheritance interface is to share the common behavior other than parent. And so that's why we have this concept of interface. So inheritance is to share common code between the parents, parents, and also the siblings, the child. Right. That is interface. Let's move on back to the tutorial question. Okay, number 6. The question is, can a class implement more than one interface? Can or not?
And
How? Can you show the syntax? Can you type the syntax at the chat? Class A extends class B. Implement. On. You know what, class? Class A implements B, comma C. All right. So it will be separated by the comma. Yeah. All right. So get the syntax. All right. Let's look number 7. Okay. 7 is about inheritance. We have fruit as the parent. We have apple and orange as the subclasses. Then you have golden delicious and Macintosh as the subclasses of apple. Okay. Right. So now the question is fruit instance of orange? Fruit is actually instance of golden delicious. So fruit is an object of golden delicious. Orange is an instance of orange, means that orange ini yang di buku ini dia adalah object of orange. Okay. The question is fruit instance of orange? Yes or no? Instance of two object. Is fruit object of orange?
No.
No, because it does belong to golden delicious. How about B? Is fruit instance of
Yes.
apple? Okay. How about C?
I think no.
Yes, correct. No. How about D?
Yes.
Right.
No.
Is it? Orange is object of fruit. Fruit is parent kan of orange. Yes or no?
Oh, no.
I know.
Yes, can, madam.
Orange. Orange is belong of orange, right? And that is orange instance of fruit. Yes or no? Answer is yes. Yeah? Orange is instance of fruit. Okay, is orange instance of apple? Orange instance of apple. Is orange object of apple?
So,
No, eh? Because they are siblings, apple and orange. Okay, let's look at, suppose the method make apple is defined in apple class. Can fruit invoke this method? Fruit is belong to golden delicious. So invoke mean call. Can fruit call make apple? Yes? No?
Yes and no.
Yes for fruit for make apple. Orange cannot. So well, orange is object of orange. So make apple is from apple. Okay. How about G? Suppose the method make orange juice is defined in orange class. Can orange invoke this method? Can fruit invoke this method?
No.
Fruit cannot. Orange can.
Can.
Right. Okay, that is concept of inheritance and creating objects. An object can call which kind of method from a particular class. Right, number 8. 8 is about what? Modify here. We use in package. Okay, we have done this one last week, right? public, private. What else? Third. Okay, what modifier you should use on a class so that a class in the same package can access it, but a class in a different package cannot access it? You know what package? Package is basically folder. So the concept package is actually folder. And then you can create class that belong to the same package. So we can have bicycle, and then on top of the bicycle class bicycle, before the line of class bicycle, you can have package A, for example. And then you can have class mountain bike, and then you can have package A as well. So mountain bike and bicycle will belong to the same package A. So the question is, what modifier should you use on the class so that the class in the same package can access it? Modifier? You know what is modifier? Public, private, protected. We have 3 types of modifier. So which one do you choose? Okay, let's say you choose public. Can this class in a different package access it? Can or not? Public.
Can?
Okay. What about private?
No.
What about protected?
Also no.
Okay, the question asking about you want to have a class in the same package can access it. Let's say my example just now, bicycle and mountain bike, right? So you have the same package A. So both class should be declared as private or protected. As public, so a class in a different package.
Protected.
Okay, you can need to use protected because private is only belong to a particular class. Yeah, when you're talking about package, the concept there ialah folder. Okay, so you want to group the class, group classes, yeah, in a folder. So you need to use protected. All right. Okay, boleh class? Any question?
Madam,
Oh yeah. Yes.
sorry, boleh tak tolong explain the example question 7 again? There's the question F and G.
And G. Oh, F. Okay. Make apple kan? Apple we define in apple class. So apple is the parent of Golden Delicious and Macintosh. Okay. Fruit tadi ialah object of Golden Delicious. So question this one, can fruit call the method make apple? Okay. Make apple ni lah dalam parent kan? Parent of Golden Delicious. When you create object of Golden Delicious, of course you can call the make apple, which is from the parent. Ini okay.
Okay.
Orange. Orange lah, dia ialah object of orange. Orange. So dia tak belongs to apple, Golden Delicious or Macintosh. So orange, dia tak bolehlah panggil make apple. Just about orange ialah object of orange. Ini okay.
Oh, okay.
Sebab make apple ni dalam apple je. Kalau make apple di dalam fruit, yes. Orange pun boleh panggil make apple. Same goes to make orange juice. Make orange juice, it is fine in orange class. So, orange ialah object of orange. So, only orange can call the make orange juice. Whereas fruit, jadi ialah object of fruit delicious. Kat bawah ni, kan? Jadi, dia tak boleh lah call make orange juice. Okay.
Alright, thank you, madam.
Okay, welcome. Anyone have any questions regarding the tutorial? Okay. So, yeah, kalau boleh tengok any questions. Question. The quick check questions. Mhm. So this quick check question, I want you to answer before 12. But dia akan automatically close on 12 o'clock. Question. Everyone in the chat boleh access kan? Ada tak yang tak masuk dahulu dalam Teams? Kan yang tak masuk dalam Teams tak boleh tengok dalam chat. Okay, can you guys access the quick chat questions for chapter 1? Try to open it. Boleh? Boleh ke? Everyone? Boleh ke?
Boleh
Boleh
access,
access?
Doktor.
Boleh access Everyone boleh access So make sure you belong to the teams baru boleh access session chat ni kalau tak nampak dalam chat. Right, so please answer. Boleh dah try boleh access and answer. Okay, this quick chat normally I will open only 1 hour up until 12 o'clock before the lecture class ends. So please try to answer it. Kalau ada apa questions, ada apa-apa lagi? Tak ada. So tomorrow we will have class, kan? That class. Amal 20 kan? So see you guys tomorrow. Kalau tak ada apa-apa, I leave you guys to answer the question. Anything class? Ada? Ada?
Tak ada kot.
Alright. Okay. That's all for today. Don't forget to pick attendance at your future.